This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello and welcome back to Down the Simpsons Hole. Tonight we have Like Father, Like Clown, which is the first episode, the first official episode to directly reference a previous episode as a sequel. And I know a lot of people say the same thing about Bart Gets an F being a sequel to Bart the Genius, which it kind of is, but not in the sense like this one. But let's go ahead and start the commentary. This one has 7 different people in it, so it's kind of messy.
Hey, welcome to the audio commentary for episode 8F05, Like Father, Like Clown, which first aired October 24th, 1991. This is Matt Groening.
Hi, I'm LG, and I was one of the showrunners for this episode.
Hello, this is Julie Kavner, and I do the voice of her, Marge.
I'm Dan Castellaneta, and I do, I guess I don't see him, but I do Homer.
Hi, I'm Wally Wolodarsky. I'm one of the co-writers of the episode.
I'm Jay Kogen. I also wrote the episode, but I do all the other voices that Dan doesn't do.
Right.
I'm Brad Bird, and I co-directed the episode with Jeff Lynch.
And Dan, you forgot to say the main event. You do Krusty.
And
That's
Krusty.
a show.
That's right, Krusty. This is a
Krusty
episode.
show.
So I remember you guys came in with this idea, and you wanted to do a jazz singer parody, where Krusty had been a clown against the wishes of his rabbi father.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I came in.
Was this
actually
one of
Jay's
the
idea.
writers' retreats? Wasn't this?
Yeah, exactly. Jay, I remember Jay told me before, like, oh, I think we should do a Krusty show, jazz singer style, which I thought was, of course, a great idea.
I pitched it to Sam, and Sam didn't like it.
And I actually agree with Sam on this one. This is far from my favorite episode. In fact, I would say in season 3, this might be my least favorite one. There is another one that I kind of feel the same way about, but I think it's probably this one. When we get to that one, I'll make the decision. But as far as I'm concerned, I'll be honest, I've never seen the entire film, The Jazz Singer. What I've seen of it, I hate. I've actually seen more of the one from 1927, which is even more boring. But that one, that Jazz Singer, was the first talkie or film that had pre-recorded audio attached to it that could be played along with it. Most of the film is actually a silent film, but everything involving the singing, it has pre-recorded audio, and it was the first film ever made that way. But the Neil Diamond version, obviously the one that is mostly being referenced here. But like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I can't imagine a worse film to do a Simpsons episode to spoof. Bad idea, in my opinion. I see that.
So I went around.
Spirit says he loves this one. One man's treasure is another man's trash, and it's like that too. I'm sure that when we finally get to my favorite episode, a lot of people are probably going to say, "What? Why the hell do you think that?"
His back to Jim and said,
Well, remember it was at the writers' retreat,
Yeah.
and people were falling on.
By the way, he also, I cut over what he just said. Jay Kogen says that after having asked Sam, and Sam said, no, we don't want to do a jazz singer parody, he went around his back to Jim.
So I went around his back to Jim and said,
Well, remember it was at the writers' retreat, and people were falling on the floor. People were we ruined that suite just from falling.
That's true. We literally ruined that suite.
By the way, something that Spirit just said in the chat, that reminded me, I was going to mention that at that point as well. I do have some clips from the Jazz Singer, from both of them, but unfortunately they're both heavily guarded by copyright. And some of the footage that I'm going to show, well, you'll see. We'll get to that point when we get there, but that's going to have to be on Rumble.
One of the biggest laughs I ever got from Jim was I said Krusty's real name should be Krustovsky. And
Yeah.
Jim liked it. Jim bought it, so we were able to get it through.
I mean, for us, it was like a series of very easy jokes about the obviously this stuff, the sad clown.
Who thought to make Krusty Jewish?
I
I
guess
think it was
I
Jay, yeah.
did because I thought the jazz singer would be a funny parallel if it was a clown instead of a singer.
You
Was
can
this
just
the
pitch
first time you ever
everybody's
saw
Jewish.
Krusty?
No.
No.
Oh,
You
Krusty's
guys
really
did
the
an
short.
episode.
Krusty episode.
Right.
We did the other Krusty episode. Krusty Gets Busted was something else we wrote the year before. Or something
So it wasn't
like that.
because of this that you made him Jewish. Was he always?
No,
No, we
Did
just
you-
thought it'd be
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
We just thought it'd be funny.
Jew, 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 Jew.
Yeah, we did this one too.
That's a flashback to that
Actually, Brad
episode.
Bird will tell you that one of the inspirations for Krusty the Clown is a
Yes,
clown
Rusty
in
Nails.
Oregon.
And I did the Star of David dressing room Krusty door.
No, but wait. Brad and I both grew up in Oregon, and we worshipped the TV clown up there, Rusty Nails.
Rusty Nails, that's
who,
right.
Who was far from Jewish.
And he pimped,
He was Christian.
he
And
pimped
talked
for
about the
a
Bible.
dairy. He pimped for a dairy, right?
Right.
And I've got some things to say about Rusty Nails, the poor guy. But before I do, I'll just agree with Van Gasser that Camp Krusty is an awesome episode. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely really high on my list. But this story about Rusty Nails, man, it's I didn't realize this the last time they brought up Rusty Nails. I just sort of read over some things I saw on the internet and just grabbed a picture of him. This time I really looked into him, and it turns out this guy, just like Matt Groening says, he was a clown. He was a Christian clown in Portland, Oregon, of all places. And in the 1970s, leftism was on the rise. Not like it is today. You can't compare it to the way it is today. But in the 70s, leftism was big. This guy was a clown for decades on television in Portland, Oregon, talking about Jesus, basically just on Easter and Christmas. For the most part, the rest of the year, he was just a regular clown. But eventually the network asked, or the local channel that he was on, asked him to stop talking about Jesus, and he refused. So that's how his career ended. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I if nothing else, I respect the fact that Matt Groening grew up with this clown. It's sad that none of that rubbed off on him, if you know what I mean. He's definitely not a Christian.
Now then,
Yeah.
Jay, I
Well,
remember
that's
you
kinda
pitched
Jewish.
making Chief Wiggum Jewish. You wanted to make Maggie Jewish, Reverend Lovejoy Jewish. You had to fight a lot
I had a
of
kind
those
of
off.
conspiracy going on. This is the Jewish conspiracy. I got my rabbi, the rabbi who bar mitzvahed me, as a consultant on this episode. He gets a credit as a consultant.
Yeah,
along
you
with
remember
another
Sam
rabbi.
was insistent, which I think was good, that we be very careful about the Bible quotes we used. That we really researched to try to find
went to two
quotes
diff-
supporting and against clowning.
Exactly.
As well as the
Which was
Sammy
wasn't
Davis
easy.
Jr. He made sure that was all accurate too,
That's
right?
true. Absolutely.
Walking along the street, or you're at a party.
Steve Allen gets a royalty here.
Yeah.
You're walking along the street, or you're at a party.
Or else you're alone, and then you suddenly dig.
You're looking in someone's eyes, you suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big.
Well, Steve and Edie went to Jay's bar mitzvah.
See, that's such
Seven
great
years further.
animation. I love that. But Krusty isn't coming to dinner again. Oh man.
This was
Can you even tell the difference between Julie Kavner and Marge? They sound exactly the same to me.
Jeff's first episode, and I was kind of brought in to help usher Jeff into the world of directing things quickly for.
So this guy, Jeffrey Lynch, is not in the commentary, but he and Brad Bird both directed this episode. This is one of the few episodes that actually has two directors, but it's just because, like he said, he was teaching Jeffrey Lynch how to animate things quickly for television.
Animation. So we did all this fancy stuff of matching the eyes and so that the eyes stayed the same through the dissolve. And some of the things worked when we sent them overseas and some of them didn't. But these kind of close-ups where you're following things and stuff like that, we were trying to make it cinematic. And some of the stuff works at this speed and some of it doesn't, but we had a blast doing it. And Jeff went on to direct a lot of the greatest episodes, I think.
Yeah, I remember, and it was really well directed. I remember when we got it back, we had some retakes just on hookups. Certain things at the color screening didn't go from scene to scene smoothly, but
right.
At that point, I think we just had a little bit looser control, of what was happening overseas.
Yeah.
It's not the tight-fisted, iron-fisted reign you have now.
Yes,
Well,
I have such great control over South Korea.
Wouldn't you say,
Hey, at least he called it South Korea this time instead of just Korea.
though, that it's easier now that it's digital? I mean, that to muck with it a little more than...
It is easier in some ways, not as many ways as I expected. They were promising me the world when we went digital, that we could change anything at the, just click a button and it'll be better. And that doesn't
computer
quite
does
work.
everything.
Yeah, it isn't quite that good. But it actually is a necessary change because nobody wants to be an ink and paint anymore. All the good people moved over to digital because this is a dying art.
Right.
We do have great cobblers, however. Wonderful cobblers on the lot.
Dinner tonight.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
God bless that clown.
Look at the shadows. Nice. Can't do that with digital.
Yeah, whisper. Let's whisper.
Can't do that with digital.
Really like.
I can see there won't be any pregnant pauses on this
No, I'm
DVD
lying.
track.
Of course you can.
Wait. I'm sorry. Cyril 29A, is that true? I have not heard that. Cyril just said that this episode has been banned on college campuses in liberal cities. I guess syndication wise for liberal cities. If that's true, I mean, I guess I don't doubt it, considering the fact that everyone seems to think this episode is so pro-Israeli. I really don't think it is. I'm honestly, and I'm an easy one to convince too. But yeah, I don't see that. I know I can see how a person would think that on the surface, but you'll see with some of these references that come up here later, this episode is far from pro-Israel in any way, really. In fact, they were concerned that that there were going to be problems.
You did. Oh, hi, Bart. Well, I was just in the neighborhood.
Okay, you got me. Cyril was just being hyperbolic. That is not true. But you know what? I get the joke. That is definitely something that would be believable in this day and age, for sure.
I think this is a loose parody of My Favorite Year, where everyone would come over to see the big star.
Maybe unintentionally.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Maybe it's just a theft. I don't know.
Perhaps just stolen?
Yeah.
Subconsciously.
Exactly.
I just know they came first.
Your pratfalls and punchinello antics aren't
Sorry, I was muted. So when you say no, it isn't on the earlier, you're saying no, it isn't pro-Israel. You weren't saying that no, it isn't actually banned. You did mean that it is actually banned.
necessary here.
And I don't know
he was that talented.
Ever mentioned before, but I also based the voice of Krusty the Clown on a childhood kiddie show. It was the Bozo the Clown in Chicago. It was the actor by the name of Bob Bell.
You should go over and take a shower right now.
Okay, Bose, I'm sorry.
I had a hunch you hadn't taken a shower. I got wind of that as soon as you walked in.
So this is a pollination of clowns, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a combination.
Composite clown.
And Bozo the Clown is the one that I know because, WGN, that was the channel he was on in Chicago. It was on cable channel, or it was on, it was broadcast all over the country via cable as a cable channel, even though it was a local Chicago channel. So we saw Bozo the Clown in my area as well.
I don't think he didn't sound like that.
Yes.
Exactly
He did,
like
no.
that?
He had a raspy voice like that.
Tell about meeting Bob Bell.
No, I never met Bob Bell. I met his son, actually.
You never met Bob Bell?
No.
Wait, what about who's Cookie the Clown?
Oh, Cookie the Clown? No, I didn't meet that. No, friends of mine met Cookie. That was another
Okay.
clown on the show, Cookie the Clown, where some of friends were working on a television show and they saw this guy, Cookie the Clown, but he was like out of makeup. They said, we don't want to, they go, guess who this is? Guess this? And he go, no, we don't want to embarrass him. And he goes,
Hey, I'm Cookie!
I didn't want to ruin that story from Dan Castellaneta about Cookie the Clown. It's actually kind of funny. But yes, I see now that I was wrong about everything. No, it is not pro-Israel, which I agree. And no, it is not banned in liberal colleges in blue cities. Also, hey, what's up, Professor Grass? That's crazy. I just started vacation hours ago. So I am on vacation as well. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe I'll even be able to fit a couple of extra streams in the next couple of weeks. You never know.
Bozo was a franchise, and I had it in Detroit, too. I was a kid. I went on the show, and Bozo went in the audience and sat on me by mistake, knocking the wind out of me. I had to leave the studio.
And this is your revenge?
I think everyone has a terrible clown story in their past.
I once met Larry Harmon, I guess, eventually became the major Bozo the Clown.
Well, he's the guy who owned the franchise.
He owned Bozo the Clown, and his brother Bob Harmon once offered me a job in the Bozo organization. He said to me, I like your style, kid. You could go big in the Bozo organization.
So I just want to say, because obviously I get pictures of these people to back up what these writers and directors are saying. And, obviously it was no problem finding a picture of Larry. Crap, they just said his name and I don't remember what it is, but whatever. I looked up his brother Bob, and that apparently, according to the internet, this guy had no brother Bob. So I don't know if he had no brother at all, according to the internet. So I don't know if Jay Kogen is just making this up for the laughs or what, but it is kind of funny.
And I turned him down. I don't know. I never really pursued it.
Dan, did you come up with the hey, or was that the other guy?
Written.
That was written.
Yeah.
Not everything that's good the actors come up with. Sometimes the writers do.
Now, this, if I'm not mistaken, is a little bit of a parody of Godfather II.
Yes,
this
is a total
all right, so this I'm right. And the music is klezmer music, which Alf Clausen did for the show.
Lifted from The Godfather.
No one is poor except he who lacks knowledge.
They say it's lifted from The Godfather 2, but it doesn't really. I mean, it's similar looking, but there's nothing else similar about that scene.
Rabbi, should I have another child?
Yes.
And of course, there's Jackie Mason as the father.
Yes, I remember going to New York.
Yeah, we went to New York
to go to New York to direct him.
Yeah,
I did
really
too.
Fun. I went to.
But he didn't improv that much. He actually really stuck pretty close to script, as I recall.
Yeah.
And I believe with Jackie Mason, he actually is a rabbi, right?
He
did
studied
to be a rabbi,
he had
but he never
speeches,
quite
and that's
made
why
it.
people said you should just be a comedian.
Right. It's failing upwards, I think.
I believe he is the one other. Well, actually, Marsha Wallace won an Emmy, but Marsha's really more or less a regular.
Yeah.
Jackie Mason was the first and only guest star to win an Emmy for his performance on
That's
that
true.
show.
And I gotta say, I mean, and before I even get started here, I know Spirit mentioned that he's a pretty big, or at least somewhat of a fan of Jackie Mason, if not a big fan of Jackie Mason. I just got to say I'm not. I don't think this guy is funny. I have watched his stuff for years. I know that he has won award after award after award, and he even won an award for this appearance here in The Simpsons. But I mean, I don't know. It's from my point of view, he's no George Carlin. He's not even Bob Saget. But and I like dry deadpan humor, but yeah, I don't know. I've seen Jackie Mason humor for years, since I was a kid. I mean, he's been around forever, and I've just never found anything that he did all that funny. I don't dislike the guy. I don't know. He's just sort of meh for me. But I will say this: the only time he ever really pissed me off is, and it wasn't really his fault, but it's just, that role that he was in for Caddyshack 2. I mean, come on. You can't replace Rodney Dangerfield. Who would agree to take that role?
What hit you?
Dad wanted me to follow in his footsteps, but the pull of clowning was too strong.
We saw George Foreman fight Evander Holyfield in Atlantic City. Remember?
That's right, yeah.
And this trip, we crammed that in.
We got to see George Foreman vomit.
We had the worst seats, but it was
Hey,
amazing.
Wally, didn't you go all over the world for this show?
No, that was Jay.
Yeah, I did.
Jay. That was
Wait
the
a
other
second.
one.
Yeah.
It was Jay,
No,
yeah.
Really?
You're gonna.
I mean,
die? That's
I
we're both
did
here.
take a trip to
went-
Japan
I went,
once.
he did.
For the show, though.
Yeah.
You went down to Mexico City.
Yeah.
You went to...
That's
You-
all.
you
They sent me
cast
to
the
Mexico
voice.
City and to Paris.
Didn't you cast the other voices in foreign countries?
Yes,
That was the mission,
in
yeah.
Germany and in Paris, and they tried to convince us in Germany that this really angry, horrible-sounding Homer was really the same thing as our goofy Homer here. that in Germany, people, the most lovable German, screams and yells and is horrible and mean and angry all the time.
You know, they offered, because Mike and I were running the show, they offered us that trip first, and we said, no, we can't take the time away from the show. And about once a year since, I go, why did I not take the trip? The show would have gone on.
Would have been fine. I enjoyed myself. Thank
But
you.
didn't you get in trouble for having too good a time? I mean, if we were supposed to be miserable.
Really?
Yeah, on this show. I just remember there was resentment back at the office.
Oh, there may have been. That's all
No,
right.
not from me.
Not from you?
I turned it down. Well, I'm just saying.
I can live with people resenting me. That's all right.
So I'm going to play this again because, first of all, does anybody else think that the person they're talking about was Mike Reese? Let's just go back to the part where Matt Groening starts saying, didn't you guys get in trouble for this?
Not from you. Trouble for having too good a time? I mean, if we were supposed
You see how Al Jean starts laughing immediately, right when Matt Groening says
to be
that.
miserable.
Why did I not take the trip? The show would have gone on.
Would have been fine. I enjoyed myself. Thank
But
you.
didn't you get in trouble for having too good a time? I mean, if we were supposed
See, Al Jean is laughing and no one else is because they don't know what Matt Groening is driving at. But Al Jean does for some reason.
to be miserable.
Really?
Yeah, on this show. I just remember there was resentment back at the office.
Oh, there may have been. That's all
No,
right.
not from me. I mean,
Not from me, he says. Not from me.
Not from
I turned it
you.
down. Well, I'm just saying.
I can live with people resenting me. That's all right.
Dude, that's got to be that has to be Mike Reese who got angry that they went out of the country and went traveling for the show, and he was the showrunner and didn't get to go.
This is his origins.
Wait, we passed by the Portnoy's complaint moment.
Oh, where he's got the seltzer bottle?
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
burst into the bathroom.
Oh, and yes, Jackie Mason was based. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making any claims about that. I'm just talking about his comedy in general. Again, nothing against the guy. I just don't think he's that funny for my taste.
Torn from the pages.
This is his origins.
Wait, we passed by the Portnoy's complaint moment.
Oh, where he's got the seltzer bottle?
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
burst into the bathroom. Torn from the pages of Philip Roth.
And this would be one of those things that I was talking about earlier where, they were sort of taking some risks because I've never read Portnoy's complaint, but apparently Philip Roth was not a very respected member of the Jewish community. They basically did the same thing to him that Portland, Oregon did to Rusty Nails. But it wasn't because he was too religious. It was because he wasn't Jewish enough. And that made a lot of people angry. So the fact that they were taking from his book was kind of a shaky issue there. But I believe what solves all that for them is the choice of Jackie Mason. Bringing him on the show automatically absolves you from any of these things.
But with this, I never want to see you again.
That little transition was supposed to be the spotlight going down to the tiny spot, and it would cut to the candle going out at the same moment. But it never came back from Korea the way we designed it. So it's one of those ones that you takes your chances.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be Mike. I mean, there's probably a reason that Mike Reese. I mean, this is probably not always the case, but at least up to this point, when Jay Kogen and Wally Wolodarsky show up for these commentaries, Mike Reese is mysteriously not here.
Oh, look at you, Bart. Oh, isn't that fun? Oh, hey, whoa.
What drove you guys to plunge into Krusty again? Do you have a special connection? I always felt like he was my favorite Simpsons character. That's always why I tried to animate a Krusty scene in a Krusty episode. What did you guys? I mean, these are the two episodes that I did with you guys are both Krusty episodes.
By the way, I just want to mention, I do believe that is the very first reference of Duff Gardens in the series. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me in the comments.
We wrote a lot of hero worship shows. We wrote the Daredevil show and the first Krusty show and this Krusty show. So there must be something about hero worship as a little kid that appeals to us.
But I also recall like Krusty was kind of a valued character, and we all were sort of after him because he was so easy to write, And he gambled, and we all liked to gamble. And
we didn't write this episode, but we it worked for Johnny Carson, and you could put that sort of king of comedy type character into Krusty, where he's a big showbiz star who's incredibly. I don't know if Johnny's sad, but Krusty was.
I know you guys would tell me stories about any TV star that you guys wrote for, and all the stuff that Krusty did.
Yeah,
was one TV star or another. Something they pulled.
Except Johnny Carson.
Except for Johnny Carson.
Yeah, actually, I never hung with him that much.
And you really can't. They definitely could not say that about Johnny Carson. Yes, Krusty has that similar type of persona, but it's sad with Krusty. It was never like that with Johnny Carson, because if a comedian went on Johnny Carson, that comedian was automatically famous every time.
It is interesting to...
I was just covering your tracks for you.
Yeah. To be able to make fun of show business, which is something that we all hold fairly dear.
Which is all we know. We have no life experience.
Hello? Hello? Anybody there? What's this? I hear a phone ring and all of a sudden there's nothing.
I thought that was a great little detail, having Krusty scratch his hairy leg,
Yeah.
Well,
And Jay, didn't you write a Frasier episode where they thought Frasier was Jewish too, right?
I can still remember reading from the Torah before the rabbi and the cantor and the moil.
The moil? The one who did your circumcision?
Yes, I just wanted to show him that there were no hard feelings.
Sorry, there was more to that scene that I wanted to show, but unfortunately it just wasn't good for the copyright.
Yes,
the
I did. I've been trying to again bring some Judaism to show business. When will show business ever become Jewish?
this is the scene. I animated this scene. I animated the poses on it because I just thought it was so funny. I asked to do the poses for this scene.
Beautiful cartoon.
And see, this is the thing about Brad Bird. Like, he loves Krusty the Clown, and he did all that. He insisted upon it and everything. And I'm not saying anything negative about Brad Bird per se, but when he does that, I don't know. It looks more like we're watching Ren and Stimpy rather than The Simpsons. You know what I mean?
Oh God, go to a commercial.
I stopped going to recording sessions because I kept wanting to laugh when you guys did stuff funny, and it was just painful to repress it. So I focused all my attention on the read-throughs where you're free to laugh.
Yeah. Well, you directed the episode where Krusty is doing it, glistening, sizzling. What was that?
It was
you
the
remember
Heart
Attack episode?
Yes.
Look, plump, succulent sausage, honey smoked bacon, and glistening, sizzling.
Yeah, when you had that heart attack, I lost it every take until I finally had to leave the room.
Me too.
Especially when I had the real one. That was
the one I remember. There was a movie about Zinc, and you were the teenage boy, and you're just going, "Zinc, oh Zinc, I miss you." Zinc. I don't know why. It's because you just kept. I go, that's the end of the take, and then you did one more every time.
Come back, Zink! Come back! Come back! Zink! Come back! Zink! 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 What? Oh, it was all a dream.
I really wanted to play more of that clip from that episode, but if you've seen that episode and you know that clip, then you probably understand why I can't show more of that. But at any rate, when we do get to that episode, which isn't it's pretty soon actually, Dan Castellaneta isn't in that commentary, so I thought I would include it.
Excuse us, Rabbi Krustovsky?
This particular episode was very popular in the movie industry. I was working on The Simpsons and going out, taking meetings for various projects, and I mentioned that I worked on The Simpsons around the time that this was on, and everyone mentioned this episode. Did you work on that one? I went, yeah, and they loved it. It was very
I really
very
feel
popular.
that this was when the show was good. This era.
What season was this?
Just this particular show.
Oh yeah, that was the good season.
See, even the Simpsons producers know that the earlier seasons are the better seasons.
For about 8
Exactly.
years, and then
That
it's good
was the
again.
good
Yes. No, I remember the network was really happy with this too. I got a couple of calls from them just saying, they thought it was just one of the best shows they'd ever seen of any TV series.
And the funny thing is, it has all this like funny sort of jabs at religion, and no one ever seemed to get upset about it. We never took any heat, as I recall, from like any people.
You see that guy wearing the Fog Hat T-shirt?
Yeah.
We got a letter
Right.
from Fog Hat.
Yeah.
We did. They were they were happy.
I think we didn't get heat probably because it was done respectfully.
Tell me if I'm wrong. But was there a letter from somebody who said that Simpsons are pushing their pro-Israeli agenda?
Yeah, we did get that. Yeah. Well, that's true. This is a very pro-Israeli.
You see how well it's
episode.
worked.
Right.
And finally, there's peace in the Middle East because of this episode.
And of course, of course, people are going to say that, and people still say that to this very day. I mean, looking up all the things that I look up to do these videos, I mean, I just ran into that over and over and over again. And to be honest, I mean, I wanted to run with that agenda or that story and say, hey, let's bring that into it for some drama. But I just don't think that's the case. I mean, when you boil all this down, this is just a bunch of Jews trying to write a Jew cartoon. That's really all it is. There's no conspiracy. It's just Jews writing Jewish jokes. And that's all there is to it as far as I'm concerned.
Yiddle, my man, you're a genius.
Yiddle, my man. I like how Springfield also seems to have New York neighborhoods. Any sort of city exists in Springfield.
Oi, this guy's tough. Bart, we're gonna have to outsmart him. So here was the one thing we had to change. This happens from time to time where we had a plan where Lisa was going to fix Krusty's dad up with Isaac Bashevis Singer, and it would actually turn out to be Krusty. Right. And unfortunately, you shouldn't tie your joke to a man who's like 87 years old because he passed away before the show aired, and we had to change it to Saul Bellow. And I think you had to go back and get Jackie Mason again to change all the lines.
I forgot about that. Right.
And this guy, he actually would have made a lot more sense. Just because of the fact that he wrote Lost in America. I mean, this guy, we brought him here from Poland, saved his life, and then he wrote this book complaining about how America is killing Judaism and subjectifying it. And it's like there's plenty of other places to be. I mean, you're welcome, by the way. But yeah, it just makes more sense that they would have used this reference rather than the one that they did. That Saul Bellow guy, because this just goes more along with Rabbi Krustovsky's opinion on everything, pretty much.
And you always wonder if you write somebody into the show if it's putting a curse on them.
I always thought too, it just would have been better with Isaac Bashevis. He was like the perfect guy a rabbi would want to meet. Yeah. Whereas Saul Bellow was a more secular writer.
Oh, yeah, that's Doris Grau.
I was just going to say, she had a fantastic voice, and it seemed like you guys wrote very specific kind of lines for her characters, and she worked on the show, didn't she?
Yeah, she was the script supervisor.
She was
Although she actually did get a great amount of acting work. She was even
I put her in
movies with
my
Eddie
first
Murphy.
movie. I put her in my first movie.
So this movie, Cold Blooded, from 1995 by Wally Wolodarsky, which also has Jay Kogen in it for a few minutes. I'm not sure I had ever heard of this film. I might have. It seems strange that I wouldn't have because of the fact that it was, who the people who made it. In fact, it was partially produced by Michael J. Fox, who was also in it, but not for very long. But at any rate, this was written and directed by Wally Wolodarsky, and one of the comments I saw in the comment section on YouTube, I believe for this clip, it was one of the clips that I looked at. I watched a large portion of this film, and I gotta say, I think it sucks. It kind of sucks. But someone did make a comment about how it was very similar to, like, it's what would happen if Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump had a baby. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what it is. I mean, but it's not good. It's both of those films. I mean, Forrest Gump is all right. Pulp Fiction is excellent. But this film just sort of rips both of them off in a very strange way. And I don't know. You can actually kind of see it when the camera pans over to the hallway here. It doesn't have the same feeling as a Quentin Tarantino film.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
How are you?
Terrific.
Did I get any mail?
No.
Yeah. Doris would be like at read-throughs on
funny.
Tracy Ullman's show, and sometimes she'd read in the lines, or, for whoever was there, and to get laughs, just because of the way she could read.
You think you're funny? 50 million Frenchmen can't be wrong.
50 million Frenchmen can definitely be wrong. But I gotta agree, Cyril, as in the middle as I am on this whole argument, if it wasn't for the muzzies you just brought up, we would not be having this ridiculous argument here in America these days, which is something we never cared about previously until all of a sudden.
On The Critic, we made her a regular character.
She gave me the wildest night of my life. Then, when I woke up, she was gone. She didn't even stay to cuddle.
I'd never walk out on you. That wasn't very sexy, was it?
Yeah, she went to UCLA in like 1935.
Really?
Yeah. So she's.
I think it's crazy too how I don't know how many of you. I mean, I don't watch new Simpsons episodes either, but most of you probably don't. But this happened way before we got into the bad years of The Simpsons. Doris Grau passed away, and Lunch Lady Doris was suddenly voiced by Tress MacNeille, and no one noticed because she sounds so much like her.
To tell us about that, about how different LA was.
Also, when we weren't sure sometimes if scripts were good, she'd go, "That's really sweet, leave it."
This looks good, Bart. Take it to him.
You, I told to go away.
But Rabbi...
We were realizing we have a lot of these scenes where it's Lisa and Bart doing something, but really Bart adds nothing. He's just along for the ride.
And that's sort of one of the things that I was going to talk about as far as this episode being, a direct sequel to Krusty Gets Busted. But I think there's other threads that come from that episode. It's kind of, as far as season 1 is concerned, I think that Krusty Gets Busted is the most important one. Yes, I know the Telltale Head is very important, and moaning Lisa is to a lot of people, not me. But I realize that it is extremely important to a lot of people. But Krusty Gets Busted sets off a whole 3 separate threads of episodes, of types of episodes. You've got episodes about Krusty, which we focus on Krusty, and they don't always talk about these other things or focus on any of those things. And then you have the other thread, which is obviously Sideshow Bob. But the third one, the less obvious one, is these episodes where Bart and Lisa work together. And I would say that there's even another one in between the two of them. That one, Dead Pudding Society, is kind of like that too. And I would say if you were going to make a playlist of episodes that all deal with the same plot points, this one would fit right in with Krusty Gets Busted and Dead Pudding Society as well, as and other episodes that happen in the future, like I can't even remember the name of it right now, but the one where they where that bum sues Roger Myers III or Roger Myers Jr. or whoever he was in that one.
This is all Talmud stuff.
You did have 3 rabbis, right? You consulted? Or?
2 rabbis.
2?
2 different
You
rabbis.
told us 3.
No, we pocketed the fee for the other third.
Rabbi fee.
The $1 million rabbi fee. Rabbi Wolodarsky, meet Rabbi Kogen.
At all times, let a man be supple as a reed and not rigid as a cedar.
I guess it's a steam bath at the temple.
Yeah, I think we got our friars clubs and our temples mixed up.
Is it not written in the Talmud? Who will bring redemption? The jesters.
Now, this is kind of disturbing. I mean, I know what it's supposed to be, but it looks like Bart has sprouted extra arms and legs.
It's almost
It's more disturbing to know what it really is.
No, I know.
A circumcision.
No, I know.
I gotta say, Prof. Prof. Grass just mentioned that he had heard a rumor that The Simpsons might end after season 40, and they have a new Simpsons movie coming out. I mean, it's a possibility, but I highly doubt it. I could see happening is people quit doing the show, but Disney, they own The Simpsons. They are not going to stop using they will hire whoever they have to keep it going. I definitely don't think that The Simpsons are stopping anytime soon. Unfortunately, not to say that means, that I hate the show. I just don't watch new episodes. And I think that it's sort of like I don't know if you've ever heard this. This just popped into my head. This an analogy for this, but Dennis Leary used to tell this joke about Elvis and how, it would have been so much nicer to remember Elvis when he was a young man and he was in good shape, but instead we remember him as the fat slob that died on the toilet. And that's kind of how I feel about The Simpsons these days.
The first circumcision I ever saw was your son, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Many years after the fact. This episode was a real inspiration.
I think you might have seen your own.
Well, they'd probably keep you pretty covered up.
Jews are a swinging bunch of people. I mean, I've heard of persecution, but what they went through is ridiculous. But the great thing is, after thousands
We had seen Sammy Davis Jr. actually live before he died in Las Vegas with Sam and Heidi Perlman, actually. This is from the Tracy Ullman days. So he was on our minds quite a bit. I used to collect those records.
My wife actually did read that book. Yes,
it's really fun. It's a fun book, actually.
It's from.
And I gotta say, before this clip plays, I just wanna set this up. This is gonna seem like a very unrelated clip because it's from Jerry Seinfeld's show where he talks to comedians in cars, and he's got Eddie Murphy on. And before I play it, I just wanted to say I've heard Eddie Murphy tell this story multiple times in multiple interviews.
Yes, I Can by Sammy Davis Jr.
The only thing I always thought, I mean, it's a great show, but he's won over by Sammy Davis Jr. Like, it really isn't consistent. He hates showbiz, but like the showbiziest man of all time.
Right. But you clearly weren't listening to Sammy's words because they're so eloquent.
Anyone would be swayed out.
Sammy told me he worshipped the devil. We were in Dan Tanner's on that restaurant with all the pictures up. Sammy was like, Satan is as powerful as God. And I was like, what the f*** are you talking about? He says, why do you think there's so much anger in the world and killing and murder and the Satan? And he saw my reaction to it, and he kind of lightened up on it.
No, I thought it was.
So, by the way, off the subject, but I just saw that what Cyril and Prof. Grass were talking about in the chat, and I just wanted to tell Cyril, hey, check out Prof. Grass's channel, not only on YouTube, but on Rumble, especially on Rumble, because he invited me to watch a new episode of The Simpsons recently on his channel. So we reacted to a Simpsons episode. That was before I was doing these live streams. He was sort of getting me trained up to do them.
It was a funny way out of a situation. There was no good way out of it.
Jeff did the drawings for this scene where Krusty's really not got much energy.
As a matter of fact, this was all inspired by Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin being brought together by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. Which is the third thing on this DVD that was inspired.
Is that right? We were
we
really
had a Krusty Sideshow Bob thing that was similar.
I mean, we talked about it all the time. Like, we had pictures of it up in our office. Like, it was such a big cultural event in all of our lives, the day that Frank brought them back together.
Father?
Son.
Papa!
Herschel!
Daddy!
My chick!
Oh, Daddy!
This was also the run where we did 3 episodes in a row about someone being a bad father. It was Homer with the soapbox racers, and then Lisa's pony, and then this one, or in some order.
Rabbi Hyman Krustovsky.
Hey, whatever happened to all those subsidiary characters? Did they ever do anything? Ever?
I mean, Tina Ballerina and
all those guys.
Corporal
Have
Punishment.
they ever showed
You've seen them
anything
from
with
time to
them?
time. For some reason, Mr. Teeny has gotten a lot of subsequent life in the show. And Sideshow Mel actually does quite a bit. He goes places on his own.
Mr. Teeny, I sort of let that slide by. I plan to talk a little more about Mr. Teeny later on during the Rumble section, but I did want to mention that how much I love that character, Mr. Teeny.
You know the words.
And nobody
7-year-olds know the words of this old song.
We haven't seen each other in 25 years.
Oh, I love you, son.
I love you too, Daddy.
That was a very sweet show.
Yeah,
That was great.
It's very
That was
simple,
great.
in its construction. It has no real A or B, It's just A all the way through.
And I would actually say that that's probably the most positive thing I can say about this episode is that if they had made this an A-B story, oh my gosh, it would have been so much worse. But yeah, I understand. Lots of people love this one. It's just not. It's not on my. It's not on the top of the list for season 3. I'll just put it that way. Is it as bad as, say, Moaning Lisa? And I know that's another one a lot of people love, but I'm not a fan of that one either. But no, I actually think this episode is much better than Moaning Lisa. Moaning Lisa has very little to offer me. But I will be glad to be finished with this episode. Not because I hate it, but just because our next one is Treehouse of Horror 2. It's the second Halloween episode that I will have done one of these videos for. And October, you have to understand, October of 1991 was such a huge month for The Simpsons. They had 4, 5 brand new episodes. I'm not sure exactly how that fell. They had at least 4, but I'm pretty sure there were actually 5 in this month. But because of the way the days fell on the way the days of the week fell in, I could be wrong about that. But regardless, Treehouse of Horror 2 is going to be a much more fun episode to do. But I do have more interesting footage. In fact, I'd say some of the clips I've got coming up are pretty interesting, just not suitable for YouTube. So that's why YouTube, if you are invited to come finish this with us on Rumble, and I would appreciate it if you came. If you don't want to, I totally understand. But that's what's going to have to happen just because I'm not going to be allowed to show you this here on YouTube. But thanks for watching all the way to the end if you're still with me. And I'll see you next week with Treehouse of Horror 2.